In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your outer tie rod on your Chevy Colorado. It's located behind your front wheel. Using a pry bar, you're going to remove your hubcap. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to remove our wheel. Remove your wheel. To begin, you're going to want to undo your jam nut. To do that, you're going to use a 24mm wrench and pull down, if you're in front of it, on the front of the truck. You're going to crack that loose. You don't want this to move with it. So we're going to put a wrench on this side and make sure it doesn't move and free it up from there. So after you unjam that, if this inner tie rod is moving with it, you want to separate that out. So use a 16mm on these flat edges here. Hold it still while you go back and forth. All right, so keep it unjammed. And I'm going to remove my wrench on that side. I'm going to mark everything and just know where it was at one point. And we're also going to count rotations when we take off this outer tie rod. Using a 21mm socket, I'm going to put it on this nut on the top. And I'm going to use my impact gun to loosen it up. Now we're going to hit it right here, and that's going to pop the tie rod down. Gently, you can tap it here, but don't smash it. You can turn your wheel out if you need to. And that'll help drop that out. And just set it off to the side. And now we're going to undo this end. I'm going to hold my inner tie rod still as I do some turns. We're going to count a full turn. So that's another reason why I like to mark it, because there's your yellow line. So I'm going to start here. And when that goes all the way around, that's going to be one turn. We're doing this so the alignment for the toe isn't off when you put it back together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16. So I usually write the number somewhere. Let's put our nut on, our jam nut. Spin that right on. We're going to bring it all the way up, but just about all the way up, so we have plenty of threads, because we're going to need 16 of them. Now we're going to put our tie rod end on. Using that crayon mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 about. I'm gonna put our jam nut down, at least closer to the end. And we're gonna snug it up a little bit, but leave it enough so you can move it a little bit to get it in the knuckle. Let's put our tie rod in the knuckle. Move it over. If you need to move your stud for the tie rod, go right ahead. I have a trick for that. You put a socket on top and you can move it around. Makes it easier. Once you get it lined up, you can give it a little tap if you need to. Is that your castle nut? You're going to hold pressure on it, and you're going to zip it on. And now we're going to torque that. Let's torque this nut to 33 foot-pounds, and then we're going to go another quarter of a turn. That's 33, and now we're going to go a quarter of a turn. Check where that... Okay, I'm going to go a little bit more. Making sure that hole lines up with the castle nut. Looking good. Now we're going to get our cotter pin and put that in. Put your cotter pin in. I usually have the long side on top. Now we're going to bend that up and over. And then we're going to take the other end and you can just cut it off. Now we're going to tighten our jam nut. You can torque it to 55 foot-pounds. I don't have a crow's foot big enough, so I'm going to use my 24mm wrench. So snug it up and go about 1/8 of a turn more, and that'll tighten it up. Put your wheel on. Put your lug nuts on. You're going to tighten your lug nuts in a crisscross manner using a 19mm socket. Make sure you walk the wheel on with that bottom one. Now you can torque the wheel. We're going to torque our wheel to 103 foot-pounds. You're going to do that in a crisscross manner. Put your hubcap on by lining up the lug nuts. Tap it on. Now you're going to want to take your vehicle down to your local alignment shop to get it aligned.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.